Hello and welcome to Storyish English, your space to improve your English and shift your mindset in a powerful way. Today we are diving into something truly life-changing: the way you talk to yourself. Most of us don't even realize it, but the words we say to ourselves shape our confidence, our success, and yes, even our English-speaking skills. Have you ever thought about how your inner voice affects your learning? Let's begin with a simple question. What do you tell yourself when you make a mistake while speaking English? Do you say things like, "I'm so bad at English"? "I'll never be fluent"? "I always make mistakes"? If yes, then here's something important to understand. Your mind believes what you repeatedly say. But what if you changed these sentences? What if, instead of saying, "I'll never be fluent," you said, "I am learning and I'm improving every day"? Or instead of "I always make mistakes," you said, "Mistakes are how I learn. Every mistake makes me better." This small change can make a big difference. The power of self-talk in learning English. Louise Hay, a famous motivational teacher, believed in the power of positive self-talk. She said, "Every thought we think is creating our future." This means that when you tell yourself negative things about your English, you are making it harder for yourself. But when you start speaking positively to yourself, your brain opens up and learning becomes easier. Here's a simple experiment. Right now, say these words aloud. "I am improving my English every single day. English is becoming easier for me. I enjoy learning and speaking English." How do you feel? If you say these sentences daily, your brain will start to believe them. Why this works, the science behind it. You might be wondering, is this just positive thinking or does it really work? Well, there's actual science behind it. When you speak positively to yourself, your brain releases dopamine, a chemical that makes you feel good and motivated. This helps you stay confident, keep practicing, and improve faster. Think about it. Would you rather learn from a teacher who always says, "You're terrible at this," or a teacher who says, "You're doing great, keep going"? Your mind is your teacher. Make sure it's a good one. Your first step. Today, for the next 24 hours, pay close attention to how you talk to yourself about your English. If you catch yourself thinking something negative, immediately replace it with a positive statement. For example, "My English is so bad. I am improving, step by step. I can't pronounce this word. With practice, I will pronounce it perfectly." This small shift can change everything. What's coming in? Part 2. In the next part, we'll talk about the most powerful affirmations you can use daily to boost your confidence and fluency. Make sure to stay with me on this journey. Until then, remember, you are improving, you are learning, you are becoming fluent. Part 2. Powerful affirmations to boost your English fluency and confidence. In the last part, we talked about how the way you speak to yourself affects your learning. Today we'll go even deeper. I will give you powerful affirmations, simple but strong sentences that will reprogram your mind for success. If you repeat these affirmations daily, they will help you speak with confidence, overcome fear of mistakes, learn faster and enjoy the process. What are affirmations and why do they work? Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself. They work because they train your mind to focus on what you want rather than what you fear. For example, instead of saying, "I am bad at English," you say, "I am improving my English every day." This may seem small, but your brain listens to what you tell it, so tell it something powerful. The best affirmations for English fluency. Now, let's practice together. Listen to these affirmations and repeat them after me. 1. I am confident when I speak English. 2. I learn new words and phrases easily. 3. My pronunciation is getting better every day. 4. I enjoy speaking and learning English. 5. Every mistake I make helps me improve. 6. I sound natural when I speak English. 7. English is easy and fun for me. 8. I can express myself clearly and confidently. 9. My English is improving with every conversation. 10. I believe in myself and my ability to learn English. Did you feel the difference? Just by saying these words, you are training your mind for success. How to use these affirmations daily. To get the best results, do this simple practice. 1. Every morning, stand in front of a mirror and repeat these affirmations out loud. 2. Whenever you feel nervous, take a deep breath and say them again. 3. Before speaking English, remind yourself, I am confident, I am improving, I can do this. This will help you stay motivated and make English learning a positive experience instead of a stressful one. Final thought before part 3. Imagine yourself 6 months from now, speaking English fluently, confidently, and naturally. This is possible if you train your mind to believe in yourself. In part 3, we will talk about how to remove fear and hesitation while speaking English. So don't miss it. Until then, keep repeating your affirmations and keep believing in yourself. See you in the next part. Part 3. How I overcame fear and hesitation. While speaking English, in the last part, we talked about powerful affirmations to boost fluency. But sometimes, even after using positive words, there's still a problem: fear and hesitation. I understand this feeling because I have been there too. And today, I want to share my personal experience with you. My story, how I overcame fear of speaking English. I still remember the first time I had to speak English in front of people. My heart was beating fast. My mind went blank. I knew the words, but I couldn't say them. I told myself, what if I make a mistake? What if people laugh at me? Maybe I should just stay quiet. And so I avoided speaking. I listened to others, but didn't join the conversation. Every time I got a chance to speak, I thought, maybe next time. But nothing changed. I was stuck in my fear. One day, I realized something. I was waiting to feel confident before speaking. But confidence doesn't come first. Practice comes first. Confidence comes later. That was my turning point. What I did to overcome my fear, I started with small steps. I spoke to myself in English. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment to speak, I started practicing alone. I described what I was doing. Now I am making tea. I talked about my day. Today I learned 3 new words. I looked in the mirror and said, I can do this. 2. I made peace with mistakes. Before I used to think, mistakes mean failure. But then I realized, mistakes mean learning. Every mistake taught me something new. So instead of feeling embarrassed, I started thinking, great. I made a mistake. That means I learned something new today. 3. I used the slow and clear method. One of my biggest fears was that I wouldn't sound fluent. But then I noticed native English speakers also speak slowly and clearly. So instead of trying to speak fast, I focused on speaking slowly, pronouncing words clearly, taking pauses when needed, and guess what? It worked. I challenged myself daily. I gave myself small challenges every day. Day 1, speak one sentence in English. Day 2, have a 2-minute conversation. Day 3, try speaking for 5 minutes. Every day I got 1% better, and slowly my fear disappeared. How it felt to finally speak without fear. The first time I had a full conversation in English without fear, it felt amazing. I realized nobody was judging me. People were actually listening. And even if I made mistakes, they didn't care. I felt free, and you can feel this too. Your next step, try this simple challenge. If you're also afraid of speaking, here's what I want you to do today. Stand in front of a mirror. Pick any simple topic, your day, your favorite food, your plans. Speak in English for just 1 minute. It's okay if you make mistakes, just do it. Because this small step will lead to big results. What's coming in part 4? In the next part, we'll talk about how to think in English instead of translating from your native language. This is a big secret to fluency, so don't miss it. Until then, remember, the only way to get better is to start. And you are already on the right path. See you in part 4. Part 4. How to think in English and stop translating in your mind. I shared my personal journey of overcoming fear while speaking English. Today we'll talk about something even more powerful: how to start thinking in English instead of translating from your native language. This is a game changer. When you start thinking in English, words come naturally and speaking becomes effortless. But before we dive in, let me share a powerful quote with you. A quote to remember. Famous author James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, writes, "Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become." This means, if you want to become fluent in English, every time you practice thinking in English, you are casting a vote for your future fluent self. Even if you struggle in the beginning, every small step counts. My story: how I stopped translating and started thinking in English. There was a time when I always translated everything in my mind before speaking. For example, if I wanted to say, "I am feeling tired," my brain would first think in my native language, then translate, then speak. This made me slow and confused. But one day, something interesting happened. I was walking in the park and suddenly I heard myself thinking, "It's such a beautiful evening." Without realizing it, I had thought directly in English. That was my breakthrough moment. I realized I can train my mind to think in English, just like I trained it to speak. How you can start thinking in English. Here's what I did, and you can do it too. 1. Start with simple words and objects. Look around you and name things in English. This is a chair. I am drinking water. The weather is nice today. This is the first step, thinking in words. 2. Move to simple sentences. Once you're comfortable with words, start forming small sentences in your mind. For example, while cooking, think, "I am making tea. The water is boiling. It smells good." This trains your brain to think in English sentence structures. 3. Describe your daily routine in English before sleeping. Talk to yourself in English about your day. Today I went to work. I met my friend in the afternoon. I learned 3 new English words. This will help your brain stay active in English mode. Practice thinking in English with a timer. Set a 1-minute timer and try to think only in English. No translation. No switching to your native language. Start with 1 minute per day and slowly increase the time. This will rewire your brain to think faster in English. The final shift. Learning to trust yourself. At first, it will feel difficult. Your brain will want to translate. But keep going. One day, just like me, you'll be walking somewhere, and a thought will come to your mind in English, without any effort. That's when you'll know, I am not just learning English, I am living it. What's coming in part 5? In the next part, we'll talk about how to improve pronunciation and sound natural while speaking English. This is a crucial step, so don't miss it. Until then, remember James Clear's words. Every time you practice, you are casting a vote for your future fluent self. See you in part 5. Part 5. What you should never do while learning English. In the last part, we discussed how to think in English instead of translating. A major shift that makes speaking natural. But while improving my English, I also realized something very important. Some habits slow down your progress. Some mistakes trap you in hesitation forever. And some things you should never do if you truly want to improve. Today, I want to talk about these common mistakes and how avoiding them will speed up your English learning journey. 1. Never be afraid of making mistakes. Many people think, I'll speak when my English is perfect. But guess what? That day will never come if you don't start speaking today. Fluency doesn't come from waiting, it comes from doing. Even native English speakers make mistakes. They forget words, correct themselves, and sometimes use wrong grammar. But they keep speaking. So instead of thinking, what if I say something wrong? Ask yourself, what if I learn something new? What if I gain confidence? What if I improve 1% today? The fear will disappear when you realize mistakes don't stop you. Silence does. 2. Never rely only on grammar rules. Grammar is important, but many learners make a big mistake. They focus too much on rules and forget about practice. I have seen people memorizing complex grammar, but when it's time to speak, they struggle. Why? Because fluency comes from practice, not from remembering rules. Instead of overthinking grammar, do this. Listen to native speakers and observe how they use words. Read simple books, articles, or subtitles in English. Speak first. Fix grammar later. Fluency comes when you use English naturally, not when you pause to check every grammar rule. Never compare your English with others. I used to look at fluent speakers and think, I'll never be as good as them. But then I realized they also started as beginners. Comparing yourself to others kills confidence. The only person you should compete with is your past self. If yesterday you could speak 1 sentence and today you can speak 2, that's progress. Remember, don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. John Acuff. Everyone learns at their own pace. Focus on your journey. Never learn only through books. Use real English. If you only learn English from textbooks, you might struggle to understand real conversations. Why? Because real English is different from bookish English. Instead of only reading, do this. Listen to podcasts or watch YouTube videos in English. Try to understand songs or movie dialogues. Read blogs, news, or even social media posts. The more you expose yourself to real English, the more natural your learning will be. Never give up. Small efforts lead to big changes. Some people say, I've been learning for months, but I'm still not fluent. Maybe English is not for me. But let me tell you something. Every great speaker was once a beginner. Every fluent person struggled in the beginning. Every small effort you make today brings you closer to success. Fluency doesn't come in a day or a week. It's a process. And if you keep moving forward, even slowly, you will get there. What's coming in Part 6? In the next part, we'll discuss how to expand your vocabulary fast, so you always have the right words to express yourself. Until then, remember, speak without fear. Focus on practice, not perfection. Your journey is unique. Keep going. See you in Part 6. Part 6. How to expand your vocabulary. Fast and speak more naturally. In the last part, we talked about things you should never do while learning English, like fearing mistakes, over-focusing on grammar, or comparing yourself to others. Now, it's time to talk about something that will skyrocket your fluency. Building a strong vocabulary fast. Many people think learning vocabulary means memorizing long word lists. But let me tell you, that doesn't work. So today I'll share smart and easy techniques that helped me increase my vocabulary without stress. Let's get started. Never learn words alone, learn phrases. Instead, one of the biggest mistakes English learners make is trying to remember individual words. For example, if you learn the word priority, you might forget it in a few days. But if you learn it as a phrase, my top priority is improving my English. Time management is all about setting priorities. Now it's easier to remember because you see it in action. Pro tip: instead of writing down single words, write down full sentences. This way, when you need a word, your brain will automatically recall how to use it. Learn words from context, not from the dictionary. A common mistake is memorizing dictionary definitions. But the best way to learn a word is to see it in real situations. For example, instead of looking up resilient in the dictionary, read a sentence like, "She is very resilient. She never gives up, no matter how hard life gets." Now you understand the word without needing a definition. How to do this? Read blogs, news, or books in English. Highlight new words and notice how they are used. Try using them in your own sentences. The more you see a word in different situations, the faster it becomes part of your vocabulary. Use the 5X rule. Repeat to remember. Have you ever learned a word but forgot it the next day? That's because your brain needs repetition to remember new words. Here's a simple trick. Every time you learn a new word, use it 5 times in the next 24 hours. Write a sentence with it. Say it out loud. Use it in a conversation. By the 5th time, the word will become a natural part of your vocabulary. Watch and listen to English content with subtitles. If you want to absorb new words effortlessly, start watching English content. How to do it? Watch English YouTube videos or movies with English subtitles. Read the subtitles and listen at the same time. Pause and note down interesting phrases. This helps you connect words with real pronunciation and learn them faster. The power of storytelling. How I learned words that stuck forever. Let me share a quick story. I once read an article about a man who survived in the jungle for a week. It used the word resourceful. He was very resourceful. He used leaves to collect rainwater and built a fire with just stones. Now, I never forget what resourceful means, because I remember the story. Pro tip: when you learn a new word, create a short story around it. It will stick in your mind forever. Final thoughts: how to make this work for you. Learn phrases, not just words. Read and listen to English in real situations. Repeat new words 5 times to remember them. Watch English content with subtitles. Use stories to make words stick. Follow these tips, and your vocabulary will grow faster than ever. What's coming in Part 7? In the next part, we'll talk about how to improve your pronunciation and sound more confident and natural when you speak English. Until then, keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, enjoy the process. See you in Part 7. Not be understood. So today we'll focus on how to sound more confident and natural when speaking English. But first, let me tell you an inspiring real-life story. The story of Arnold Schwarzenegger, overcoming a strong accent. Arnold Schwarzenegger is known worldwide as a legendary actor, politician, and fitness icon. But when he first came to America from Austria, he faced a huge challenge: his thick Austrian accent. Many Hollywood producers told him, "Your accent is too strong. You will never get a leading role. No one will understand you on screen." But did he give up? He worked with speech coaches. He practiced every single day. He trained his mouth muscles like he trained his body. And over time, he became one of the most recognizable voices in Hollywood. Instead of seeing his accent as a weakness, he turned it into his signature style. This story teaches us an important lesson. Clear pronunciation is a skill. Just like any other skill, it can be improved with practice. Now let's go over some simple and powerful ways to improve your pronunciation. Listen and imitate, the shadowing technique. One of the fastest ways to improve pronunciation is to listen and repeat like a shadow. How to do it? Pick a short audio clip from a YouTube video, podcast, or movie. Play it and listen carefully. Pause and repeat exactly how the speaker says it. Try to copy their intonation, rhythm, and speed. Do this every day for 5 minutes, and you'll notice huge improvements in your speech. Speak slowly. Speed comes later. Many learners think speaking fast makes them sound fluent, but the truth is, speed without clarity. Confusion. Even native speakers slow down when they want to sound clear. Try this. Focus on saying words clearly, not quickly. Pause naturally between sentences. Let your mouth form each word properly. As your confidence grows, speed will come naturally. Record yourself and compare. Most people never hear how they sound when speaking English, but recording yourself can be a game changer. Here's what to do. Pick a sentence from a movie or news report. Record yourself saying it. Play it back and compare it with the original. Ask yourself, am I pronouncing each word clearly? Is my tone natural? Am I stressing the right words? This technique helps you identify mistakes and correct them. Train your mouth muscles. Pronounce difficult sounds. Some sounds in English don't exist in other languages, so they feel unnatural at first. For example, the TH sound in think or this, not sink or dis. The R sound in red, not a rolling R like in some languages. How to fix this? Exaggerate the sound at first. Say the words slowly and clearly multiple times. Watch your mouth in a mirror while saying them. Your mouth is like a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. Use tongue twisters for fluency. Tongue twisters are fun, but they also train your mouth for difficult sounds. Try saying these fast. She sells seashells by the seashore. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. Practicing these daily will make your speech more flexible and natural. Final thoughts, small steps, big results. Listen and imitate native speakers. Speak slowly. Clarity is more important than speed. Record yourself and compare with good speakers. Train your mouth for difficult sounds. Use tongue twisters to improve fluency. With daily practice, your pronunciation will become clearer, smoother, and more confident. Part 8. How to stop translating and start thinking in English. So today let's talk about a powerful shift. How to stop translating from your native language and start thinking directly in English. A real-life story. How Elon Musk thinks in different languages. Elon Musk, the billionaire behind Tesla and SpaceX, speaks multiple languages including English and Afrikaans. But he never translates in his mind while speaking English. When asked how he does it, he said, he learned to think in the language instead of translating. He built a strong word association. Words in English connect directly to ideas, not another language. This is the secret of fast learners. They don't depend on translation. Now, let's break down how you can do this too. Name things around you in English. One easy way to train your brain to think in English is to name things around you in English. Example, if you see a tree, say tree instead of its name in your native language. When you wear your shoes, think shoes instead of translating. Do this every day, and your brain will start associating words with objects, not translations. Use English for your inner thoughts. Most people talk to themselves in their native language. But if you want to think in English, change your inner voice. How? When you're hungry, don't think in your native language. Think in English, I'm hungry. If you forget something, instead of thinking in your native language, think in English, oh, I forgot. The more you talk to yourself in English, the faster you'll stop translating. Describe your day in English. At the end of the day, spend just 5 minutes describing what you did in English. Example, I woke up at 7 a.m. and had coffee. I went to work and had a meeting. In the evening, I watched a movie and relaxed. If you do this daily, your brain will start processing thoughts directly in English. Learn phrases, not just words. One big mistake learners make is learning single words instead of phrases. Why? Words alone don't help you think fast, but if you learn phrases, you'll speak fluently without translating. Example, instead of learning just happy, learn the phrase, I feel happy today. Instead of just go, learn I'm going to the store. When you learn whole phrases, your brain retrieves them faster and you don't need to translate. Stop relying on subtitles. Many learners watch English movies with subtitles in their native language. But this actually slows down your fluency. What to do instead? First, watch a short clip with English subtitles. Then, watch it without subtitles and try to understand. Finally, watch it again and repeat sentences aloud. Over time, your brain will start understanding English naturally, without translation. What you should never do. To think in English, here are 3 things you should never do. Never depend on word-for-word translation. It slows you down and makes sentences sound unnatural. Never fear making mistakes. Fluency comes from speaking, not from being perfect. Never avoid English conversations. The more you practice, the faster you'll stop translating. Final thoughts. Thinking in English is a habit. Start naming things in English. Change your inner voice to English. Describe your day in English. Learn phrases, not just words. Reduce your dependence on subtitles. The more you practice, the faster you'll think directly in English without translating. What's coming in Part 9? In the next part, we'll talk about how to overcome the fear of speaking English and become more confident in conversations. Until then, keep practicing and remember, thinking in English is a skill. You can train your brain to do it. See you in Part 9. Part 9. When I talk to myself like this, the shift starts to happen. Let me tell you a story about a man who had everything, money, success, and fame, but still felt stuck. Not in life, but in language. He had lived in an English-speaking country for years, but he never felt confident speaking English. This is the story of Akira Kurosawa, one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. The silent struggle of Akira Kurosawa. Kurosawa was a Japanese director whose films inspired Hollywood legends like Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese. But there was one thing he struggled with: English. Even though he could understand it, he hesitated to speak. He thought, what if I make a mistake? Whenever he attended film festivals in the US, he spoke through an interpreter. Even after years of working with English-speaking actors, he avoided conversations. One day, a journalist asked him, "You've spent decades in the film industry. Why don't you speak English?" His answer shocked everyone. He said, "It's not that I can't, it's that I never let myself believe I could." That moment changed everything. He decided to change his mindset. Instead of thinking, "I can't speak English," he started saying, "I will speak, even if it's not perfect. I will learn by trying, not by fearing." What we can learn from Kurosawa. Most English learners are like Kurosawa before his mindset shift. You understand English. You know many words, but you hesitate to speak. Why? Because your inner voice is stopping you. So here's what you need to do. Embrace imperfection. The biggest mistake English learners make is waiting to be perfect. I will speak when my grammar is 100% correct. I will speak when I know more words. But here's the truth. Fluency doesn't come from perfection. It comes from practice. Speak now, as you are. Kurosawa wasn't perfect, but he stopped waiting. The talk to a mirror technique. One powerful technique is talking to yourself in the mirror. Every morning, stand in front of a mirror and say, "Today I will speak English with confidence. I am improving every day. English is easy when I enjoy the process." Then describe your day. I woke up at 7 a.m. I will have coffee and go to work. This rewires your brain to accept English as your natural language. Change your mental labels. Many learners label themselves negatively. I am bad at English. I always make mistakes. Instead, replace those labels with positive ones. I am an English speaker in progress. Mistakes help me grow. Every sentence I speak makes me stronger. Just like Kurosawa, when you change your mental labels, the shift starts to happen. A powerful quote from James Clear. The author of Atomic Habits, James Clear, says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." Meaning, if you set small daily habits for English, you will improve naturally. If you wait for motivation, you will stay stuck. What's coming in Part 10? In the final part, we'll talk about how to stay motivated and keep improving, even when progress feels slow. Until then, remember, fluency is not about perfection. It's about action. Your inner voice decides your success. The shift starts when you start. See you in Part 10. Part 10. When I talk to myself like this, the shift starts to happen. This is it, the final part, the moment where everything comes together. You've come this far because you want to change the way you think, speak, and improve your English. But before we end, Let me tell you one last story. A story about a man who proved that your words create your reality. The incredible story of Jim Carrey's self-talk. Today, Jim Carrey is one of the most famous actors in the world. But before he became successful, he was a struggling comedian in Hollywood. He was broke, he had no big movies, and people told him, "You'll never make it." But Jim Carrey didn't accept those words. Instead, he did something unbelievable. Every night he drove up to Mulholland Drive in Los Angeles. He looked at the city and said to himself, "I am a successful actor. Hollywood is waiting for me. The world will know my name." He repeated these words every single night, even when there was no success. But here's the crazy part. In 1990, Jim Carrey wrote himself a fake check for $10 million for acting services rendered. He dated it 5 years in the future. And guess what? In 1995, he got a role in the movie Dumb and Dumber for exactly $10 million. His self-talk shaped his future. The final shift you need to make. If you want to speak fluent English, you need to change your inner voice. Stop saying, "I am not good at English." Start saying, "I am improving every day." Because the words you tell yourself today will decide your future reality. So let's make this shift right now. 3 powerful things you must do from today. Say this every morning. "I am becoming fluent in English." Say it while looking in the mirror. Feel the words, believe them, because your brain listens. Stop this one bad habit. Immediately many learners say, "I will speak English when I am perfect." Big mistake. Perfection is a trap. It keeps you stuck. Fluency comes from mistakes. So start speaking now, even if it's not perfect. Use the future self trick. Imagine yourself 1 year from now, speaking English confidently, expressing your thoughts easily, traveling, working, and socializing without fear. Now ask yourself, what did that future you do differently? What habits helped them get fluent? Now start doing those things today, because your future self is created by your present actions. A final thought. Every great speaker once struggled. Every fluent English speaker started where you are. The difference? They changed their self-talk, they believed in their future fluency, and they took action every day. Now it's your turn. Final words. Don't just watch, take action. Like this video if you're ready to transform your English. Comment below, "I am becoming fluent." Because when you write it, you believe it. Subscribe to Storyish English for more powerful lessons like this. Your journey to fluency has already begun. Now, keep moving forward. See you in the next video.